So this is another episode of Totally Detailed, and we have Tom Cook here from Autobead today. Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
Hi, Rich. Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So you've been busy flying around the country or driving?
We have. Yeah, very busy at the moment. It's we're doing a lot of courses which are starting to come to a close now for the winter break.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a bit the travelling sort of coming to an end. A couple of weekends off heading my way, but it's it's been great. It's really good, and it's good to be involved with it.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously Autobead, tell us a little bit about what Autobead is and what it stands for, and where the name sort of came from and what its terminology is.
I think Autobead was founded in 2015.
Yep.
That was with a couple of guys called Marcus and James. They sort of really laid the foundations for the business. I think that it was always to tailor towards the sort of professionals.
Yep.
And the pro sort of enthusiast market. So when we launched, the brand was launched with, I think it was one product, which was a spray sealant.
Yep.
So I think it was one of those ideas. Marcus sort of said to James, here you go, here's a product.
Yeah.
This is great, go and sell this. So I think, and then obviously the ceramics came into play, and the brand was very much tailored towards catering for the professionals. So and sort of the pro enthusiast as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it came from. And then 2019 came. I was one of Autobead's detailers. So to me, when I was detailing, I had a detailing business called Detailed Moments.
Yep.
That was in Salisbury, Wiltshire. And I chose Autobead because it was it was a happy brand.
Yes.
I think that's the best way to say it. It was a happy brand. I built up a good relationship with Marcus and James.
Yeah.
And I think that I've always been interested in the car care sort of side of it. Sort of probably delving deeper into it. So I think it was a case of, we got to 2019. I think the kind of relationship blossomed.
Yep.
And we decided that sort of the merge was a way forward. So I think to them, that kind of missing piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
And then as a team, we could take this business and drive it forwards and sort of do what we want. I could take the reins of it. We worked on sort of an exciting rebrand, which came about recently. So there's been loads of things, and there's loads of changes from Autobead when it was born. I think Marcus and James will probably watch this, and they'll probably know I'm not the easiest guy to deal with in the world.
Yeah.
I'm the bulldozer. I think they call me. I just smash down walls, and then they just pick up the pieces. So I think as a team, I think it works. It's a good relationship that we've got.
Good. So so in 2019 you became a threesome then.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. And I think it's running with three is always, I mean, it can have its challenges.
Yeah.
I don't think any road is completely flat. I think there'll always be a few bumps in the road. There'll be a few hurdles to overcome. But of course, we'll have those as a business, and I think every business does.
Yeah.
All in all, I think it's been a very smooth transition. For my part, I think the transition was going from being a lonely detailer, locked in my detailing den with my music on and spending 8-9 hours on a polisher every day, to then trying to take on sort of customer service, account management, social media. So there was a huge amount of things that I needed to learn in a short space of time.
Sure.
But with those two guys they kind of supported me on the way. So I think together we joined forces, and it all sort of we took all our own skills and combined them all, and it's kind of worked.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Good. So obviously, how many products are there in the range now?
That's a good question. I think when we started we had about one, and then the range of ceramics. I think now we're up to about, I think in our maintenance range we got about 20 plus.
Yeah.
We've got our range of ceramics. We work in terms of sort of accessories wise. We work with a rag company and work stuff.
Yeah.
So we stopped those brands because we think relationships are important.
Sure.
And it's nice to work with other companies in the same sort of thing. And, let's be honest, we're great at chemicals. Well, I like to think we are. And they're great at, Rag Company are great at microfibers, at towels, work stuff, great brushes. So it's nice to have that bond, that relationship. But in terms of chemical wise, we brought everything into the UK. We have new ceramics. We've got sort of a whole new lot of sort of maintenance products. I think there was a couple of things when I came into the brand that I felt, we could probably improve that, knock that one on the head. So we changed a couple of things as well. So, and we're constantly developing.
Yeah. So do you actually develop the actual materials there from raw materials yourself, or is it sort of done by a chemist outside and then for you, and then you work with them?
So we work with the chemist.
Yep.
Now the products are bespoke to how we want them. Yep. To begin with, it was a case of, I would speak to the chemist. I would say, right, from my detailing experience, I would say, right, I want this product to do this, that, I want it to achieve this, and I want it to provide this kind of finish.
Yep.
And then we get to work on it. Between us, we get to work, we get something going, and then it would come to me, and then I test it sort of in real world. I tell him if it was naff, I tell him if it was great.
Yeah.
And I tell him if it needed a few tweaks. So I think moving forwards from that, what we've done is, and this is probably going to jump ahead of the subject a little bit, but what we've done in terms of our product development, we work closely with our detailers. Yep. So in terms of development, and putting products through their paces, I want everything done in real world.
Sure.
I don't want lab tests and lab durability. I want things to be thrown out in the big wide world, and I want our detailers to have their honest opinions on it. And then I ask them, I say to them, look, if that's rubbish, tell me it's rubbish.
Yeah.
And we'll do something about it. And listen. So we learn by listening.
Yeah.
So I think as the brand grew, we bought some, some great detailers joined us.
Yep.
And then that kind of broadened who we could use for testing, and giving these guys an opportunity as well to get their hands on a product before we release it, and say, look, guys, what do you think of this? Let's have your feedback and see if and where we can improve it, and your thoughts on it. So I think that's important. I think one good example of that is when we were playing with a 5-year coating in our Silex Pro range. I've got very fortunate to work with Mr. Leddy over in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
He's a good old egg. Sometimes people refer to me and him as the Mitchell brothers.
I can see the resemblance, definitely.
It's fun. It's good. And we sent that over to him. The 5-year. I mean, it was put onto a bonnet of a car, and then Mr. Leddy attacks it weekly with neat acid, TFRs, everything that he can throw at it in real world to subject it to the worst possible conditions to see if we can break this product down. And it's been on there a year, and it's performing exactly how as we want it the day it was applied. So that's the kind of idea of what sort of the testing that we do, and just to ensure that our products are, we'd rather over deliver.
Yes.
So I think that's important. I think particularly with the ceramics.
Yeah. I mean, labs are okay, but it's getting that sort of out in the public, testing them. You couldn't have wished for anything sort of better, really, in my opinion.
No, we're fortunate. Every brand has their own business model.
Sure.
And I would never speak badly of a brand. And I think what they're all doing is brilliant. But obviously the business model that the route that we went down is sort of, we work with our professionals. We establish a good relationship. I like to think that we provide them a lot of support.
Sure.
I think most nights some of the buggers have got me up till about sort of, I'm chatting away to them till about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm sort of Auntie Tom that looks after them, But it's, I wouldn't want it any other way. I think it's very much, it's passion driven.
Yeah, definitely. So how long did you do detailing then before you joined Autobead in 2019?
I think I was doing it. I had my business detail moments for probably, I think I was running for about 4 years or so.
Yeah.
Before that, I did cavity wall insulation.
Okay.
Brutal job. I was extracting failed insulation from walls.
Yep.
Blown fiberglass up in the air. Horrible job. I've got asthma. It didn't really go too well, but it was good. It kept me sort of fit apart from my lungs.
Yeah.
And then I was sort of detailing on the side of it.
Yeah.
I've always had a passion for it. I've always had a passion for cars. Yeah. It's always been cars. And I think that probably comes from my dad. I think it's run in the family. So, and I enjoyed it. And people kept saying to me, but, get out there, Tom, and do this. You're going into shows and stuff for your car. And it's just, it's spot on. And I think it was, I kind of come to that realization, and I think, the job with Cavity Wall was a very well paid job. So it wasn't just like leaving an okay job. It was kind of a big move. I just thought, well, you live once, and I think you've got to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no point in doing something that you really detest. So I went for it, and I started detailing on my drive. with a gazebo up, really angering the neighbours, because at the time I had like Subaru, which you probably know they're not the quietest of cars. So I had my Subaru parked there, I had my gazebo up, and I was detailing cars. But people, it was great because people believed in me. People would bring their car to my house. They turn up and, this is on someone's drive. But I think everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And the detailing industry, it's a really difficult game.
Yes.
It's hard work. So, but I was fortunate enough that after, I think it was 3 months on my drive, 3 to 4 months, with the support of my family, it was a sort of a mid-terrace house, so we were running the hose, the water connection through the house and through the windows. Yeah. So it was a nightmare. But
ideal. Yeah.
But we did that. I got there, and then I took on a sort of an 800 square foot unit, brand new unit, just on the outskirts of Salisbury. After about 4 months, I took the jump. I went for it, and I didn't look back. To be honest, it was great. My missus was extremely happy when I moved because there wasn't a hose pipe through the house, through the windows, keeping the house cold every day. But so then I got into my unit. The business, it worked. I think it's all about building up local. I think for a detailing business, regardless of, I think it's building up relationships in the community, supporting local businesses. I remember there was one group of guys, Pritchett's Butchers in Salisbury. Brilliant group of guys, lovely family business. They weren't associated, they weren't close to detailing. So they were just making sausages. But building those relationships all around you, I think it really worked. You know, I'd recommend them, they'd recommend me. And then the local garages would recommend me. So yeah, it was good. It was great, and I sort of ventured into a big part of the business as well. Is then I then built up a strong relationship with the guys at Thruxton Race Circuit. Really great bunch of guys. I love the circuit. It was kind of, I think it was sort of my piece of my relaxation place. I could just go and sit on the bank of Thruxton and watch some cars go by, and it was nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Barbecue going when the sun would set. So it was kind of the place where I wanted to be. So we, as Detail Moments, we did a lot of events there. I looked after a couple of cars. Lorne gave me a Toyota GT86, which was the first car from there that was on their skid pan. Recycled water from tankers, absolutely hard as can be water. Car was thick in cemented on lime scale, so that was a joy to work with. But it kind of, the relationship built from there. So I take Detailed Moments to do the British superbikes, the British touring cars, the British trucks. Did I make a huge amount of money doing it from reselling brands? No, but I loved it. It was really good, and I did that every year. So there was kind of, I think, kind of the transition was sort of starting to happen then. Because I enjoyed those events. I enjoyed talking to people and talking about the product. And I think as well, the other thing is helping people. People want to learn detailing. It's becoming a big thing in the UK. And what I do find is that people are so quick to jump on someone on social media at the moment. It's like a ready pack of wolves.
It is.
And the trouble you got with that is people are asking a question because they don't know. It's not because they're asking to be called an idiot, because 75% of us on that detailing channel would know the answer. I think they're generally asking it because they're reaching out for help. So that's what we kind of do, and I've kind of brought that into Autobead. But I think to engage with that, engage with the public at like these events that I was doing at Thruxton, I think it kind of just set the tone for sort of the way that we were going to move forward. So, and then all of a sudden, I remember James speaking to me and saying, well, you know, why don't we, you could do a bit of, some sales for us or help us out a little bit. And then all of a sudden, here we are, and we've become a 3. And then I think that was sort of where that transition happened. And now I've sort of forced them we're back into Thruxton this last year. They were saying, I don't know if we're ready for that. I said, well, we're doing it. This is all about me knocking down those walls and them left to get the pieces. So, but yeah, it's good. It's working, and I think we're on the road to where we want to be. So,
yeah, it all takes time, doesn't it? So, with the other two guys, what's their sort of background? What did they do before?
Marcus has other business ventures. And James has other ties. He works with a US company outside of Autobead. And then they kind of really are the driving force behind me. I'm that guy on the front line. I say, they're happy to listen to my advice, my industry kind of knowledge, what I think we need to do. And then they'll just sort of as I say, like pick up the pieces behind me when I come up with my next crazy idea. You know,
Crazy idea. Yeah.
and there's been a few. There's been a few crazy ideas.
We all have them, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With them, and now listen to this.
Yeah.
And we've had this thing at the moment, this joke, and I said, I don't make mistakes. And they remind me of a few that I've made, but yeah.
Yeah, they'll be listening. We'll have to get them all on at one point and do another one at a later date. Anyway, it'd be good.
Yeah, they can get me back.
They can do. Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can trip them up and see if they can make a mistake. So yeah, we'll get them back for you. Don't worry. So one thing you were saying earlier about people with detailing businesses, and I do see this quite a fair bit. You get detailers, they start up. They obviously, you get guys that are wanting to start up, and like I say, social media is such a cruel world. People think they're being clever by sort of shouting people down, thinking, oh, idiot this, idiot that, whatever, you should know this, should know that. All these guys want is just a bit of help. But one thing that I was sort of going on to, that's one of the reasons why we left a lot of the groups on Facebook because of it, because it was just full of people sort of belittling others. But, and it's not necessary, but guys want help. And I think we're a bit like you, we just want to help people. We'll go anywhere. We'll do anything to help people. And somebody said something to me the other day about it'd be nice to sort of have a chat with you. So I just suddenly randomly said, 27th of November, I'll come to Bude and we'll chat.
Right, okay.
Have you not heard of telephones? Yeah, but I'll drive to Bude. It's only 7 hours. And that's the sort of people that we are. So I'm driving to Bude, 7-hour drive, and I'm going to go and have a chat. And I'm going to meet, as it happens, I can probably get from a sort of 30-minute, 40-minute radius, probably 10 people. So I've said, look, we'll have a chat and I'll buy everybody dinner. So they're like, we're up for that. So I'm driving to Bude. It's just, how we do things. So, it's just to help people. These guys want help. And that's what I love about what you're doing, is just sort of helping people. But I think what a lot of people forget with the detailing industry is they go onto social media and they sort of try to reach out to everybody throughout the whole country rather than focusing on that local community to them. And we've been a victim of that. And it's something you sort of think, yes, we are a global brand. I mean, next week I'm in Norway training. So I'm in, and that's what we're doing, with their training. And, we're at the, at one of the car shows, the Oslo Motor Show, and we're there training as well. So, I mean, it's something that, we go all over the world sort of doing things, and we are global. But, when you're a vehicle detailer and you're not sort of involved with products or anything like that, whereas now you're involved with the product side of it, with the other two guys with Autobead, it becomes a global thing. But people sort of forget that it's the local people that you really need to support you in your community, like your local businesses, because they basically become your advocates. If you look after them, they will look after you. And it's like you were saying with the guys with the butchers and things, it's they spread the word for you, and that just has that snowball effect. And before you know it, every local business is shouting your name, and you're shouting theirs, and that's what you want. And I think a lot of detailers forget that.
Yeah, I cannot stress. I mean, I might be, people don't have to listen to me, but for my experiences, I would say that the most important thing is to build up local relationships, support small local businesses, because we're all in this together. We're all trying to, put food on the table of our family. And in turn, we all support each other and we create that nice network. And the town works, the city works. It's just all helping each other out. And, and in terms of kind of like the, whether it be, like with the butchers, whether it be if one guy goes in there, and he's buying his pack of sausages and his barbecue pack for the weekend or something. So I'm looking to get sort of my car detail. They could turn around and say, well, actually, we know this guy, Detail Moments, and he does a good job. And it's only that one. Like that one can turn into, you could get a good booking out of that and then repeat business. And if everybody's doing that, I think you're right. It's another snowball effect, and it works. I mean, I stress that to my guys. With our kind of detailers, I'm often, I think quite often I do it on a Sunday. We had one last night. We have a catch up on our WhatsApp accredited group. and I'm there to support them. So I come on there and I say, look, guys, how's your week been? Who's busy? Who's quiet? Is there anything? So I've got, I think it's 2 or 3 calls scheduled this week with a few of my guys that could benefit from a bit of help and perhaps being a little bit busier. So
Yes.
It's just sort of supporting and helping and trying to find the best ways to make it work.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the Autobead brand, I mean, obviously, just something you've mentioned there, which is sort of maybe food for thought for people looking at maybe coming on board with the brand. Do you only have certain people in certain areas, or or you just like want to get as many detailers as possible? Say, for argument's sake, say in Glasgow or Hull or wherever it is, or Northampton, would you have as many as you can get in Northampton, or would you just be very selective?
In terms of what we do, anyone obviously can use the maintenance range, the products. We do the accreditations for the ceramics.
Yep.
We do our pro accreditation, which is to get onto our flagship sort of 3, 5 and 5 year coatings. We've got a new coating in the pipeline, so watch this space.
Excellent.
But we have, I think if we fixed on local exclusivity,
yeah,
I think it kind of takes away from our ultimate goal, which is uniting the detailing industry.
Yeah. I get that.
So down in, I mean, Devon Way, for example, I've got one unit-based detailer.
Yep.
And I've got one sort of mobile detailer, Go and Pro accredited. Now, it's actually worked out that these two guys, they've teamed together and they bounce off of each other. So if they're doing, if one of them's doing like the pro coating, then the mobile guy then will be able to maintain that coating if they want a mobile maintenance service.
Cool.
So I think we're trying to unite the detailing industry and unite the detailers. So in terms of local exclusivity, we don't operate on that as such, but then I wouldn't stick someone directly on someone's doorstep and overcrowd an area. I'd like to see those people working well together.
Sure. Yeah, I think you can have too many people, can't you? At one point, it's. I mean, you've only got to look at sort of different sort of car ranges. A bit like, I don't know, let's say Autoglim for argument's sake. I mean, they're absolutely here, there, and absolutely bloody everywhere. I mean, it's brand saturation almost to that point, and it's just, and it's sometimes that to me sort of can devalue a brand if it gets too oversaturated. So you have to sort of draw that level sort of balance, that sort of level playing field, don't you? And I think getting the detailers to unite is a really good option, because it's, again, we see it a lot on social media where you can sort of tell they really want to say something to somebody else because they just feel, I don't know, do they feel compromised because they got another detailer in their local town and they're like, is he taking all my work off me? There's work out there for everybody, in my opinion. It's like, we train guys to do leather, and, we have franchises out there, we have technicians out there, we have the accredited guys out there. There's work for everybody because it's a growing industry, and it's the same with the, the detailing side of it. It's still a growing industry. It's still a relatively new thing here compared to, say, for example, like the USA, and it is a growing industry, and there's still plenty of room for everybody. What I call a proper professional. And there's a fine line there between somebody calling themselves a detailer and somebody that actually is a detailer. And again, that's why, obviously IDA, which is what, I love. And, even though it's an American brand, I stand by it. I think it's a brilliant idea. It's a fantastic concept. It's going to take a lot of years to get it right. But I think the concept that they've got is to make it uniformed across the board, which is a bit like what you're trying to do to get the detailers to unite and have this uniform sort of playing level with terminologies, training, accreditation, and everything else. I think, it's a wise move to go on, definitely, with what you're doing.
I think so. In terms, like the courses that we've recently sort of brought out, we do the Detail Like a Pro course, which is our Foundation Day course. Yeah. So we worked hard at this. We had Mark come over our way.
Yep.
And I think the way that we thought about it was, well, we've got these super good detailers, right? And they're in their unit, they're doing their thing. Why not give them an opportunity?
Yeah.
So we had some select guys, and we thought, well, these unit-based guys, and we think, well, you know, rather than just put all the sheep into one field and close the gate,
yep,
we'd like to have another gate that opens into sort of greener fields, shall we say?
Yeah.
And it gives them the opportunity then to share their knowledge.
Sure.
And I think that's quite a proud moment for them as well.
Yeah.
Because they can share their knowledge, their experiences, and they can present to a course. So by no means, I mean, hats off to the guys, because they've been absolutely superb.
Yeah.
As Mark will absolutely echo and will tell me every day that presenting is a totally different thing from being a detailer.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got to be able to present. As well as, you know, it's not just being good at detailing cars, but then you've got to be able to speak to a room.
Yep.
And keep these guys interested and be informative. So I think we went down that route to give back to our sort of detailers something there. And also to what we found is that there's such a growing enthusiasm towards sort of detailing. I think that lockdown played a big part in that.
Yeah.
Because the car washes and everything closed.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
People had to go outside with their buckets again.
Yeah.
And wash their car, polish their car, wax their car. Yeah. And I think that people fell in love again with
cars,
with looking after their car.
Yeah, looking after them. Yeah.
I think they would stand back after they'd done the car and think, yeah, God, that looks, you know, that's really good. I'm really pleased with that. And then they'd be out there all day. And I think that's seen a big increase. And what we wanted to do with the Detail Like a Pro course, we wanted to give these people, the enthusiasts, and maybe even sort of new sort of guys, valeters, detailers starting up in the industry. We wanted to get them together. We wanted them to be able to come somewhere and improve their knowledge, improve their skills. You know, everybody in detailing has different methods or unique ways of doing things.
Yeah.
But you know, these guys would turn up. We put lunch on the day, and then we do everything from detailing a car from A to Z. So we get, you know, the afternoon session. We get the polishes in their hands. A lot of people are under this perception that you know, the machine polish is this big scary thing that they're going to destroy the paintwork of their car with, but it's really not. And
no, not today, anyway.
no, and it's really great to see when you have the course. When we start on the machine work, you get some of the guys, they've never picked up a machine in their life.
Yep.
We were very fortunate recently that we had Justina Bryce over from Belgium. JD Car Detail. So we were lucky. We had Auto Express, we had Flex Power Tools, and we had Pro Detailer magazine. All attend the event. And Justina did her, you know, her demonstrations. We had one guy there, and he was one of those, he'd ask questions, but it's not a bombardment of, but it was great because he was at a willingness to learn. He never picked up a rotary machine.
Yep.
Straight away, he's machining with a rotary.
Yep.
And then a DA, he's using a mini machines, a Flex PXE80, all the variation of different machines, trying out these polishers, doing localized wet sanding. And all of a sudden he can do it, and he's confident and he's happy. So they're coming away from this course. And I've had a couple of guys, you know, they're holding the machine polisher. As we all know, we let the machine do the work.
Yeah.
Front hand is your guide hand, but they're sort of punching it down on the bonnet. Their arms are going, but then when we got to 2 hours later with the machine work, the movement is great.
Yep.
they're confident, and they've come away from that. And we always ask that question: is, you know, are you happy? Are you confident? Have you learned something with a machine work? Or actually, they said, well, I'd confidently go and put the machine to the bonnet of my car now.
Yeah,
I'm really looking to go out and buy a machine now and let it loose on my own car. And so I think that's what we're trying to achieve from it. You know, we have a huge variation in age groups that attend.
Yep.
We have females, we have males, we have people from 16, 15 up to going up to sort of you know, elderly people on the course.
Yep.
Dads and that like to spend a Sunday out looking after their car.
Sure. And this is just general members of the public, not like detailers or valeters, just people that just want to look after their own cars.
Yeah, and I mean, it can be a mix. I mean, we've had you know, a few businesses come on it.
Yeah.
Just to see if they're doing anything, if we're doing anything, some of our trainers and that they're not doing. So just see if they can pick up some extra skills, because the thing is with detailing, right, it's always, every day is a learning day.
Sure, absolutely.
I think every detailer has to be humble enough. If you speak to Justine, if you speak to some of my guys, Robin, Dave, Zita, Mark, they'll always tell you that every day is a learning day.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, you learn something new every single day, and if you say you don't, then you're basically lying to yourself, you know, because you do. You learn something new every single day. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's what we try and do with it. And at the moment, when we get the group together, and it's a real warm group. We try and take the mickey out of each other in there. You know, I did a course with Zita a couple of weeks ago. She'll take the mickey out of me. I was her training partner, because I still like to, as much as I'm trying to let go, I still want my hand in at detailing, and I still love to be part of it. So if the guys are all around the car machining, I want to be on the machine as well. Yep. And I enjoy it. So I was her trainer, but we just openly, you know, we'd take the mickey out of each other. There's a lot of humour there, and we generally we get really good groups of people, and it's a great connection on the courses. You know, everyone's there to learn. Everyone's enthusiastic about car detailing and stuff. So we all share that passion. And it's just a nice come together, and then by the end of it, everybody walks away with their certificate, and they're happy people. You know, I think everybody that's been on the course, I'd like to hope, has enjoyed it, and I'd like to think that they've learned something as well. So I think that's where we're kind of starting with that. So that's a kind of, all these moves are kind of towards the community. Building that detailing community, and I think I'm for one very passionate about it. The same with, this is slightly different subject entirely, but we've got the Detailed by Her campaign running. I've got a detailer up in Fort William, in the Highlands. Cheyenne. Cheyenne, if you listen to this, we both agree that it's taken Cheyenne a little while to come out of her shell. She's incredibly popular detailer. She's doing really, really well for herself. To start with, she struggled. And she spoke to me. She felt that she struggled in a kind of like a male-dominated industry, shall we say. I don't think that's unfair to say that.
I absolutely agree, because obviously my wife, female, obviously, and again, our industry is like the detailing is very male dominated, and we get it with people where they're like, I hear what you say, but can I speak to a man that knows what he's talking about? That really does get me going. That really does annoy me, because she knows as much as what I do, and it's like Justina and people like that. There's so many ladies out there that know so much, and some of them know a hell of a lot more than what the men do, and you know, they shouldn't get undermined. You know, they need this footing in the industry to help more women get involved with it, because it is an equal playing field at the end of the day. And we do a lot with advertising to the female sector side of it, with the leather side of it. And it's, again, the amount of detailers I know that are sort of popping up all over the place that are women, and some of them aren't just young girls either. That's the thing, you know. It's good that you're doing that, you know, and getting that sort of side of it. I don't really know of any other sort of car care brand that really sort of gets behind the women like that to do that. You know, that's really good.
No, I mean, that's why we set up the Detailed by Her campaign.
You know,
openly, I'll admit, you know, Justina, over in Belgium.
Mm.
She's better than I ever was.
Yeah.
And it's harmony watching her on a machine.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that, you know, I'm humble enough to admit that, but some of the women out there are phenomenal detailers.
Yeah.
And it's just bringing them, you know, we've got Nicola at 55 Details. She works very closely with our brand. She's exceptional. But she needs to be brought out of her shell a little bit, and that's what we're working to do. Shay, the same thing up in Fort William. She struggled to start with. I think she probably struggles with. She's not the most. I'd probably be fair to say she's maybe towards more shy.
Yeah.
But she's coming out of her shell with what she's doing. She's trying to progress herself. With Rachel over in Northern Ireland, she's doing our courses. She's doing courses, advanced days with Mark as well. So they're really actively trying to further themselves, and we want to work with them to give them the recognition that they deserve. And actually say, yeah, we can do this. We can get out there. We can detail. Why not? And they're doing it. So hats off to them. And the Detail by Her campaign, it's growing. We've got a good group in there in our Facebook group. It draws a little bit of criticism. It's a female-only group, but it's a safe place for female detailers to talk and support each other and relate and share their work. So I think it's working. And we're certainly seeing a rise of the female detailers, shall we say. That's part and parcel of the reason that we work with Justina, because she's proven she's done it. And she comes over here. So again, one of the reasons why we brought her over last month or so to do a couple of the machine courses that we did. Then we did a pro accreditation, and she partnered Zita, who works very closely. She works with Autobead sort of on a part-time role, as well as with her business Zita Details in Upfield. So the two of them together delivered that course.
Excellent.
So it was great to see it, and it was great to watch it. So
I think a lot of it with some of the girls, it's just getting them, like you say. I think they're more shy. I mean, my youngest daughter, she's quite good, but she was very shy. She wouldn't do things. So what we did was to get her to come out of her shell. Was we got her to do short little, it's only short, like sort of 60-second video clips, 30-second and 60-second video clips, just very, very short ones, and just got her to talk a little bit on it. And you know what? That made it actually so easy. I mean, I think a lot of people, I mean, I don't mind, but I mean, a lot of people are like, Christ, I can't stand hearing my own voice. It don't bother me because I do so many videos and do so much of this anyway, but a lot of people don't like their own voice. I think this is what puts them off. And what we did with our daughter was we just got her to talk for a few seconds at a time, rather than carrying on talking, just sort of the odd word here and there, and just sort of talk on like a 15 to 30-second video clip or 60-second video clip. And that really helped her enormously, because she got used to that sort of thing being on the camera, which helped with her confidence as well. And it might help with some of the girls. It's just an idea. You never know. It might just
definitely
might just help, because it was just those short, small little clips, that did it for her. And sort of, and then it's like, the next thing it's like, Dad, when do you want me to do another video? And all of a sudden she's asking me then. So you've just broken that confidence and got her, built that confidence right up, and sort of got rid of that little shy girl, and all of a sudden she's like, yeah, come on, when are we doing more? Okay, then. Didn't know you wanted to. Yeah, I'm all right now, and then now she's okay. So it's really good, but it's just that confidence. But, there's men out there as well that are like that, because they can't stand listening to their own voice. Strange. I mean, I think Mikey that I interviewed, he was like, I don't know whether it was Mikey or somebody else. I just can't. I don't want to listen back to it. I just can't stand listening to my own bloody voice. And it's strange, but you listen to it all day long when you're talking. So I suppose when you listen to it on a microphone, it's a bit different.
No, definitely, and I think I'll blame you now. You'll see now in the next couple of months. You'll see all this social media content from our female detailers coming on of 15-second clips.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, it's worth it. It certainly helped here, and it made my wife was the same, you know. And even though she was doing car shows, it was. I mean, because she's done car shows ever since she met me. You know, I mean, it's like you were saying about detailing. You can't never get out of it. Christ, I started when I was about 12 years old, and I'm 53 now, and I don't want to detail, but I still have to detail. I don't know why. I just can't. Even though we do all the leather side of it, I can't stop detailing cars. It's just, it's a. I don't know what it is. It's a bug, and you just can't stop. You know, and I can still be doing it when I'm 75 if I'm still alive. But I just can't see me not doing it. You know, and it's just it's really weird. I can't explain it. It's just. It is a passion because I just like to see the car shine, and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. I just can't ever seem to stop doing it, even though I'm like, I don't really have the time. It's like, yeah, bring the car in. And I'm like, and it's just, I don't know, it's just finding the time, and it's weird because I just can't stop doing the damn things, even though I want to do, you know, we're doing the leather and we're getting busier and busier and busier with the leather. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's just, you want to get out of it, but you can't. It's so hard.
I think so. I think, you know, I think this goes across. I mean, I had a chat with Mark Lineker at KKD.
Yeah.
He's similar. You know, he can't get rid of that bug. You know, he likes it. It's what we do, isn't it? It's a passion, and I think we need to sort of keep feeding it.
Just continually feeding it. So obviously with your product ranges, do you have a certain one of your products that you like over all of the others? That's a hard one, isn't it?
It's a super hard one. I would say probably one I'm quite passionate about is because I sort of worked on this one. It was just me and the chemist that worked on this one. Yep. And we went through several formulations to get it to where it is, and that was our interior detailer. So I think it's going to have to be that one. I love what it does. I think it was great to see when it came out, and the reviews, the feedback it was getting. It was a proud moment. So I think that's probably close to my heart, that one. I'll probably remember that one more so.
I know that
it's one of those. I think there's been plenty along the way. I mean, I knew Heavy Dirt, which is our pre-wash product. It's super good. You know, people are loving it. I've always a massive fan of wax. I'm a firm believer that wax will never die.
I don't think it will either, to be fair. I don't think it will.
I don't want it to die, and I don't think it ever will. I think it will just roll with the times. Which we're seeing. You know, now we've formulated this graphene wax. That didn't go to plan to start with. The first lot coming in, it's to blend with graphene. The first lot that was coming in, we would notice it was spiraling in the pot. We got to the bottom of it, and it was the fragrance that was kicking it out. So it's everything's a learning curve, but that graphene wax that we've got out is a super product, and I'm quite obviously, I mentioned to you, I'm passionate about wax. The titanium ceramic that we've got and the graphene, they are superb. And I love working with them. So it's hard to pinpoint which would be my favorite, but it's got to be the interior detailer shades it in the maintenance range. I would say, I think.
Excellent. So obviously with the business, where is it sort of going? What's your plan? Where's it going next? World domination. I think
not down the pan.
Yeah.
Hopefully. No, I think what we're doing is great. I like what we're doing. Obviously, as a team, we're working brilliant moving forwards. I think we're moving in the right direction. We're continuing to, I think the biggest thing with Autobead is we're trying to unite the detailing industry.
Yeah.
So I think it's a continuation going into next year. We're going to be doing our advanced days. Part of the reason that Justina came over as well, so we can certainly run off of her blueprint. She does all the Flexperts courses. So we can take bits and pieces for some of the, from some of the top guys. We've got Mark coming back over to train our trainers again. So I think next year there'll be a continuation of the courses. We'll continue with the Detail Like a Pro, which has been very, very popular. Yep. We'll run into the advanced day. We'll have another machine course with Justina. We'll continue to do events. I'd like to do something. We've got the Christmas Works Party. We've called it the Autobead Christmas Grand Prix, because our branding is very sort of associated with motorsport. It's a kind of the concept that we went down, that we chose was racetracks into our branding when we did the rebrand. So we're doing the Christmas Grand Prix. I think James and Marcus are sort of always worrying. I think they're losing their hair on a daily basis because they're thinking, what's this nutter going to come out with tomorrow?
Hey.
So, but this one I think was, yeah, we have decided to hire Thruxton.
God.
This one was like, they said this is the most outrageous one yet, Thomas. I know. But we sort of hired Thruxton Race Circuit for a Christmas party. So our goal with that is to unite all the detailers, professionals from all around the country. We want them to come. We want them to be part of it. We've got a live band on there, so it's a bit of a case of like beer, rock, and motorsport. So that's what we're gunning for with it. So the whole idea behind it is to just unite the detailing industry and give everyone a nice Christmas party that we can that we can be proud of after a few difficult years.
Yeah, definitely.
Going forward, I think at the moment, in terms of product development, we only release a product that needs to be in the range.
Yep.
I'm not interested in different shampoos that do, one that does black cars, one that does white cars. I'm not speaking out of term to the brands that do it. But it's just a way. We want one product that does one thing. In terms of clay bar lubricant, I can't say this word, and I never can. Lubricity. That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Of our shampoo is mega. Yeah. So we say to guys, well, we won't release a clay bar lubricant because add a few mil of our shampoo into a mixer bottle, fill it up with water, you've got the perfect clay bar lubricant. Don't spend money that you don't need to spend. So we'll keep the product range tight in that respect.
Sure.
Just for the products that the guys need. And I think that's what works best for us.
Yeah.
So we'll continue doing what we're doing. We'll continue to develop. And I think it's a bit of what we have been doing and just making it bigger and better next year. So I think we're on the right path.
Definitely. So are you like having like a network of like detailers that are going to be trainers around the UK? Obviously, I would imagine you're going to limit that sort of side of it. I would imagine. Yeah.
So we've got our dear pal Mikey that was on with you last week. Mikey's a big part of the business. Mikey's up in Scotland. He's very passionate.
Yes.
Very, very passionate. He's a great guy. If you ever need a kick up the backside, if you're ever feeling a little bit down, pick up the phone to Mikey, because he'll get you going and he'll give you the inspiration that you need. So yeah, Mikey's up there. We'll probably continue to bring in a couple of new locations around the UK.
Yep.
We want a location that's accessible to sort of everyone without having to travel crazy amounts.
Yeah. Get that.
And it's just giving those detailers an opportunity.
Sure.
If they fit the bill and they want to do it, and they're keen to do it, they can demonstrate that they can do it, then why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll continue with that. We'll bring in a few new locations next year. I think we're tailing it off a little bit, the courses now for the winter.
Sure.
Most places are, I mean, we've got one, Zeta's fortunate of having an indoor wash bay.
Yeah.
Most haven't. And I think you'll probably get to January and people thinking we don't want to be outside in that, like washing cars. So we'll tail it off a little bit towards the spring, and then we'll release our next schedule of courses going up.
Yeah. So what's the sort of plan for going into Europe?
We will. We're getting there. I mean, we're working with people, as I mentioned countless times. Justina, she's given us contacts on getting people. So it's certainly the next step of the business.
Yeah.
Heading into next year. But we're learning.
Yeah.
It's every day's a learning day, and it's getting it, working it into other countries. It's the things like the labels for the products, all these kind of things. So, but it's we've got various sort of importers that want to distribute for us over in their country. So it's certainly something that's on the horizon. Yeah,
good, excellent. So I mean, off beaten track, what's your hobbies?
Cars,
just cars. Is it ordinary cars, race cars, Formula One?
Do you know, I've got to be honest. Yeah, Formula One's my passion.
Yeah.
Absolute passion. And a lot of people who know me won't want me to get on the subject because I'm very passionate about it and strong-minded on it. But Formula One is. I did like football. I'm not so much into football anymore. I think it's become so money orientated. I think these people on like £600,000 a week, and it doesn't really do much for me. They hit deck like a grenade's hit them. I don't know. I like it. I think I always will, but I don't think it's. Motorsport's definitely at the forefront. That's what I really enjoy. But to be honest with you, like this last couple of years, I think you get lost a little bit in. I enjoy this business, and I'm passionate about it, so I think you get a little bit lost in there. But a Sunday when Formula One's on, that's it. The TV's on, the surround system's on, it's running in 4K. No one comes in the room. That's it. So that's my time. But I do enjoy that.
Yeah, beer in hand. Yeah, I mean, I do like Formula One. It's I've always wanted to go, and it's even the cheap seats. It's like £1,000, and it's like
a lot of money.
You're sort of like here, and you're going to sort of maybe hear that quite a lot, and it's like, can I justify £1,000? And I think, you know what, I can. I think because I'm gonna do it. It's on my bucket list. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think it's just being there. I mean, it's like about the sort of opportunities I had when I was in America and stuff, living out there when I was a lot younger. For sort of 6-7 months of a year at a time, and it's just the opportunities that sort of got me there. It got me hooked, into cars, and that's what sort of did it for me. We had cars. I mean, because obviously I was from Berkshire originally, and we had cars all over. I was born in Wiltshire, myself at Marlborough, the hospital at the top of the hill, and obviously all across Salisbury Plains and stuff. We used to have cars hidden all over. The guy that I worked for had like a collection of 150 cars. They were all over the southern England, and it's just, I don't know. You get hooked, don't you? I've never been into football. I've always thought they were always overpaid, really, for what they do. And I don't know, something about motorsport. It takes great skill. My uncle was sort of like a rally type driver, and that sort of fueled me as well, because he always had really nice cars, and it's always like, Christ, what's Uncle Bill coming up with now? And it's always like, oh my God, look what he's got now. Even back in the day in the Ford Sierra Cosworth or whatever. It's just, I don't know, it just grabs you, and you just can't get away from it. And it's just,
it does.
It's just engine noise and sound, and
I think this season as well has been a great season for Formula One. So it's coming back. It's been a bit of it's sort of it's not been as great. I think quite a few people have switched off, but I think this season's really got people on the edge of their seats and that again. So it's good. It's coming back well, and we'll see what next year does with all the new rules and regulations on the cars. So
it'd be an interesting one with all the new ones coming on it. That's for sure. So one question we always ask everybody, and it's always like the closeout sort of question to end the interview. Some people find it quite difficult to answer. If there is one piece of information you could tell yourself that you now know, that you could have told yourself when you first started that you now know, what would it be?
That's a difficult question, and it's confusing. The little hamster and its wheels slowing down there now. So let's do that again. So if there's something that I know now that I could have known.
Yeah, when you first started, you could have told yourself when you first started, what would it be?
Is that in terms of Autobead, or is that in terms of everything, like the detailing side of things? Yeah,
everything. Yeah, detailing the whole lot, yeah.
It's a hard one, isn't it? I think if I could, I think it's a journey. Am I along the right lines? I think it's harder than what I thought it would be. I think no business is made overnight.
No, definitely not.
I was probably thinking that success. I'm so driven.
Yep.
And if it doesn't win, I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I'm brutal to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's patience.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's learning to be patient, and that, you know, the seeds they were planted, but the tree doesn't bear fruit.
Yep. Straight
away, and it's a journey.
Yep.
You know, I can't remember. Marcus will tell me this all the time, like how many a percentage of new businesses don't make it, and it's incredibly high.
Yeah, very.
But I think I think it's worth. I think it's just rolling with it and being patient. And I probably thought everything would come a little bit quicker.
Sure.
But building a business is difficult. It's tough.
Yeah.
Even in terms of detailing, it's really, really tough.
Yep.
But stick by it. Like there's months when it becomes such a lonely place, and when suddenly work might stop and you don't know why.
Yep.
It's just riding those tough times. With the smooth. So I think, you know, at the moment now, you know, this business is by nowhere near where I want it to be.
Sure.
Everything's there. It's on the right track. It's just I like James and Marcus will tell me the same. Like, be patient, just chill, man. And then the next wall goes smashing down, and bulldozer Tom's gone through it, and they're like, oh man, what have you done now? Like, we've got this to deal with. So the same like with the Christmas party thing that we've done. You know, I said, right, we're doing it. And I think I think it happens. It will happen. You just got to persevere, and it's supporting, letting people support you and supporting people, working together as a team.
Yeah, and plan basically is what you're saying, isn't it? Really, it's just having a plan and working to that plan. And I mean, I understand exactly where you're coming from with that. It's, you know, this is where I say sometimes people are a victim of their own success almost, and we have it, you know, in our early years. I don't know whether it's been lockdown, but over the last sort of 5 years in particular, I begin to sort of learn to sort of, when we do something, it's then step back and just let it go, rather than keep going and thinking, why the hell is the tree got no fruit on it? You know, which is what you said, which is basically what I did when I first started off. It's like you hit something, bang, and it's like, why the hell hasn't that happened?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Rich,
sometimes.
Yeah, and they're like, Rich, give it a rest. You only mentioned it 3 weeks ago. Nothing's going to happen just yet.
Yeah.
I know, but I've told enough people, and they're like, Rich, calm down. it'll take a year. I ain't got a bloody year, you know. And I know exactly where you're coming from with that. It's just you do have to just, like Marcus was telling you got to step back and you just got to let that fruit build. You know, you really have, and I think that's where a lot of people with small businesses do fail because of that, because they expect things to happen too quickly.
I think sometimes you need to take a step back.
Yeah.
And I know when I was detailing, I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
You need to take a step back and you need to look into what you've done and what you've achieved.
Yeah.
And you think, well, actually, do you know what? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
We've done this. We've achieved this. We're on to the next thing. You know, we set this target. We smashed that target.
Yep.
The next one, we smashed through that one.
Yep.
So patience is key.
I think you need to celebrate your targets. I don't know whether you do that. We do. When we've done something, we will literally go with the staff and we'll buy champagne and we'll buy dinner and we'll pay for hotels and we'll celebrate with everybody because it's an achievement as far as we're concerned. We've done something, we've achieved it, and we've memorized that with something that we've all worked at to do it. And it's something we've all, you know, we've sort of learned to do over the last few years. And it's and it works really well because everybody gets rewarded for it, not just the people at the top, you know, because everybody at the end of the day, without the people at the bottom, the top wouldn't be where it is, you know, and that's my philosophy with it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
What you're saying there, you know, with the detailers, you know, Autobead wouldn't be where it is without your detailers at the end of the day. And it's, you know, you need them to make Autobead work, you know, and it's the same with us. You know, we need our staff to make the company work, and it's, and celebrating those little wins, you know, as a major sort of thing is something quite important because you remember that, and it's like, I want the next one because the next celebration is going to be bigger than the last one, you know. And it's and the thing is, once you've got your company where it'll be, you'll look back and you'll be like, you know what, I'm still not where I want to be, because you'll want to keep growing. You know, when we first started out, you know, because we started out obviously detailing, and my vision was to have detailing plate centers all over the world. Well, we haven't got detailing centers all over the world, but we've got leather repair company centers all over the world. So in theory, we've done what we wanted, just a slight twist to it, you know. Yeah. And we've still got the same thing. We've still got, like, because they're basically detailing interior cars, but not just the outside, it's just the interiors, but we've still got the same thing, you know. It's just one small part of that car that we're detailing with these centers around the world. So we've achieved exactly what we wanted. And, you know, it's like we sit back, the wife and I, sometimes we're like, Jesus Christ, why is this thing still so bloody hard, you know? And it's like, what have we done to deserve this, you know? And it's like, we work our ass off, you know, to make this work. So why is it like this, you know? And I'm like, no, just think about it. We've achieved exactly what we wanted, you know. Now we're going for the next level. We're now going for the next country, the next continent, you know. And she's like, Jesus Christ, when do you stop? And I'm like, no, we've got to keep going, you know. And she's like, I thought you were happy with what you got. I am, but I want the next one now.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. That's the trouble.
I'm exactly the same, and I think that's just being that driven. That you just want it there and now, and you know, I don't think there'll be this thing with Autobead. It can grow and grow and grow.
Yep.
But I'll never be happy. And Marcus and James will echo that. They're like, now he wants to do something else.
Yeah.
But I think there's never, it's a never ending story. And I think we can build this and build this. But it's a project, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's a journey. You know, and the journey, unless you write the end of the book, the journey will never end. You know, and some people write the end of the book, you know, when they start a journey. But I'm not a believer in doing that. I like to leave the end of the book open, and that journey carries on. You know, and then the next generation takes it, and that's what we're planning at the moment. You know, we've got some staff that's with us at the moment. They are the next generation for this business, and that's exactly what we're training them to be. They know that that's what they are going to be given the business. They are going to be the next generation, and that's exactly how it's going to be. You know, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're planning, because the business doesn't need to die, and that's exactly what we're planning right now. You know, and yes, I'm 53, but that's exactly what we're planning. You know, because you don't know what can happen at the end of the day.
Yeah. I've got my 3-year-old boy. He's already in training. You know.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, exactly. I've got him washing the car.
Excellent. That's what
he can only do the lower bits at the moment. He's not quite tall enough to get up to the glass or anything.
I start him young. That's what I say. So definitely. So yeah, it's always good. I mean, we did with our daughters. I've got 2 girls, and we always had them out at the car shows. You know, when it was school holidays, And I remember one car show, because we used to import Mother's products years ago. And, you know, we were at the car show down in Nebworth House, baking hot sun. I think it was one of the years where it was about 90 degrees, absolutely baking hot. And this guy comes over and he's like, how good is Mother's? And I'm like, it's the best there is. Really? He said, you know, I know Maguire's. I'm like, Mother's is good. Trust me. I like Maguire's as well. I said, but Mother's is really, really good. I said, it's so simple. It's so easy. I said, I'll tell you how easy it is. I said, what sort of car have you got? And he told me, I'm like, an expensive car then. He said, yeah, I've just had a 25,000 quid paint job on it. I said, that's cool. So I said, right, what I'm going to do, I've got my two daughters here, Eloise and Crystal. I said, they're going to come over and they're going to polish part of the car for you just to show you how good it is. And he looked and he's like, how old is she? I said, she's 6. What happens if they do my car wrong? I said, it's 25 grand paint job, yeah? He said, yes, I'll pay for it. If you want to record it on your phone, record it. I'll pay for the paint job. I can guarantee you those two girls will not damage your car. They know exactly what they're doing. They'll do it to perfection.
Yeah.
You're absolutely certain. I said, absolutely, 100% guaranteed they won't damage your car. So off Eloise went, 6 years old, and Crystal went with her. It was only a few years older. They went off, baking hot sunshine. I said to the girls, I said before I go, don't remember, girls, sunshine. Just remember what I told you about sunshine. Eloise, guard what she's doing. Make sure the sun don't get on what she's doing with the polish. Just watch her. No problem, Dad, I'll do it. They went over there. She held the microfiber up like that so she could like put the polish on the car, buffed it off. The guy came back about 20 minutes later and he's like, how much of this stuff do you have with you? I said, I don't know, 100 bottles. How many do you want? He's like, I want 20. That stuff is absolutely amazing. He said, do the girls come with it? He said, because they've done a cracking job over there. No. The girls stay with me. He said, I was blown away. He said, I was petrified that they were going to ruin my car. He said, but do you know what? Absolutely blown away. He said, that stuff is the bee's knees. You know, and it's just so amazing, you know, and it's just starting your kids so young with it, you know, and that's what we did with them. We got them involved with it young, and again with your son, get him in there young, and you know, and he'll just grow with that and he'll get that passion. You know, and that's what you want.
He does. I mean, he loves it because Dad's doing it.
Yeah,
Daddy's up the unit. Daddy's doing this, and then he likes to. You know, he's done a bit of everything. You know, he's got involved with the guys on the other side doing a bit of packing.
Yep.
He's done a bit of car washing. He helps me brings bits and pieces. Yeah, he's good as gold, and he loves it. So.
It's good because people can sort of see the next generation coming along, can't they, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Strange thing with my two girls, they now don't get anything involved in the business. One's a biomedical scientist, and the other works in a school, you know, in finance in school. So, I mean, it's totally different sort of thing. You know, amazing.
Yeah.
But they still love the business, you know, they still help out when they can, and they still love the business. But, you know, that's what they do. You know, she's sort of doing a lot, the eldest one with a lot with COVID testing and stuff like that through COVID, driving up and down the country and doing stuff and things. But yeah, I mean, she's been doing that all through COVID and one thing and another. But one of those things is
brilliant,
taking the risk, but you got to do it, you know, and that's what she loves doing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, so your social medias, Tom, where do we find them all? What are they? Where do people?
Social media, we have our Facebook page.
Yep.
We've got our Instagram page, Autobead.
Yep.
We've got our Autobead hub.
Yep.
So Autobead hub is our detailing chat group.
Yep.
Autobead hub is full of enthusiasts, our customers, and it's full of our professionals as well.
Yes.
The idea behind hub is to unite those.
Yep.
Then if an enthusiast, even a young lad, older guy wants some advice on how to do something, they can lean on our professionals. Sure. Or me. I'm in there. So it's a support group.
Yeah.
And at the moment we don't have any of those. There's none of the judgmental, spiteful, troll, so I'd say, comments going in there. It's just it's a nice place to be. We have Autobead Trade.
Yep.
Which is for our trade account holders, so they can sort of share their work. We can run some exclusive sort of offers to those guys in there that support us. And then we've got the Detailed by Her page, which we spoke about before.
Yeah.
So that's running on Facebook. And then we've obviously got our website. We've got our we've gone into TikTok now. I hate it. It's not, I don't know. I'm old school. I don't know what I'm doing with it. So Zita takes control of our TikTok, and she's very good at it. So I just let her. That's her domain. That's nothing to do with me. So she does our content on there, little how-to videos. Yeah. So I'd like to, going forward, I'd like to get a few more sort of how-to videos and going on into Hub and stuff like that. So yeah, plenty of groups there.
Excellent. So and obviously, I think, is it autobead.com?
Yeah, autobead.com is our website.
Yep.
Recently, newly launched sort of website. Sort of to go with our new branding.
Yep.
So that's gone live. And then we're looking at doing some stuff going forward with sort of YouTube and the next bits and pieces, how-tos, tutorials, things like that.
Yeah, like getting the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Excellent. Good. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to, I must admit. So hopefully this will get out Wednesday morning. So,
brilliant. Okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday morning anyway, we'll get it out and get it aired, and it'll go on YouTube as well. So it'll be a video on YouTube as well.
Excellent.
There you go. So thank you very much, Tom. It's been absolutely a pleasure talking to you. Much appreciated, and hopefully everybody will have a great, enjoyable time with it. So it's been good.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem. You're welcome. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. You're welcome.